Hello, everybody. This is Your Voice with Senator Greg Ball. I'm Jim Coleman. I'm Senator Ball's sidekick and chief of staff, and it's a pleasure to be here this week with you, Senator Ball.
How are you, Jim?
I'm doing fine. We're having a good time out there.
Time no say.
I'll tell you, it's been busy.
I think you're looking in the wrong camera.
Well, which camera am I supposed to look at?
Whichever one you want.
One. Senator, you own them all. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody out there. We are here having a wonderful time with Senator Ball, and this week we've got a lot to talk about. He has not only been the busiest man in Albany, he's the busiest man in the Hudson region.
We're having a blast.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of stuff done, right?
We've got a full show today, so let's get right to it.
Let's move.
Senator Ball, I want to start off with your commitment to trying to find a way for New York to have a vet cemetery. You've got a bill, and what's that all about?
Well, it's a little selfish being a veteran myself, but all joking aside, this is serious stuff. There are over 30 states that take part in a federal program that is an extremely generous program that pays for the construction of state veteran cemeteries, so vets and their families don't have to travel extraordinary distances to pay respect to their loved ones. And right now we only have 2 federal cemeteries in the state of New York that I know of, one far out in Long Island and one in Saratoga. Most people have 150 mile drive radius. Got to change this, construct it. I got $500,000 placed in this year's budget, plus the enabling legislation in the Senate, one House, and we've got to fight to make sure that the Assembly does that, because unfortunately, evidently, if it doesn't have something to do with a social program or a tax increase or a fee, then they're not interested in it. We got to get this done, and they've got to make veterans the priority that they should be over in their side of the House, and that's what we're fighting to do. Been working with Assemblyman Bob Costelli as well.
I know you had a big press conference with him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Want to take a look at it? Let's roll it.
We're losing thousands of World War II, Korean War, and other veterans every single day. And the reality is that because it's such a generous federal program, it is just common sense that we do the right thing, pass the enabling legislation in both the Assembly and the Senate, and get this done.
You're trying to do for New York what other states are already doing.
This is common sense.
Yeah.
We have tens of thousands of underserved veterans. We have, I know of World War II vets and other vets that have supported this legislation over the years that unfortunately have predeceased the passage of this legislation. I mean, we got to get this done.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to move over now to Peekskill. Sounds like you're doing a lot of things over there. We went over there a couple weeks ago with Peekskill Pride, took your whole team, had a big barbecue, and on top of that, you had a famous president.
The President of the United States showed up to the city of Peekskill, which was awesome. You know, it wasn't an easy thing to get the President to come, but I was able to make that happen through an enormous, extraordinary, Herculean effort. And I want to thank you for your minimal effort.
I tried. I cooked ribs. I served that day.
You ate more than you cooked, Jim.
Well, Krista and I, we worked hard over there, and Dan.
Here he is, and this is the president here.
That's one of your favorites.
That is the best president to ever live, no doubt about it.
Well, what's the connection over there with Lincoln and
You're not asking me a pop quiz right now.
No, that's not a pop. He stopped there on his whistle stop tour.
He did. After being elected president of the United States, he went on the whistle stop tour, or whatever you call it, and one of his stops was in Peekskill, so we're working to get funding, not only state but beyond that, because this can be a big tourist destination, which will help downtown Peekskill. They've done a lot already. County Legislator John Testa has been extremely involved in those efforts, and he gave a great speech that day. Yes, for Peekskill, he's been a great man.
Absolutely. And you had a barbecue over there at the Salvation Army.
We did.
It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, are you going to show that tape?
Well, let's take a look at it.
This is it?
You were the star of the show over there.
Well, you try to steal it every second, but I did my best.
I can't do what you do.
So these are the ribs, and we have hamburgers and hot dogs.
Legislator Testa right there.
Yep, John Testa's behind us. Met this gentleman, but you know, Peekskill's such a great little city, and just a wonderful community full of great people, and there are real needs in that community as well. You know, we help everybody we can in the district. But there are some blue-collar struggling families all throughout Peekskill that need specific help, and we're doing that.
Well, you know that we've heard this before, that there are a lot of our constituents over in Peekskill. They said they've never seen a state senator in 20 years before you took over. And it says a lot about you. You're on it.
Well, it's good to be
You're making
there.
it happen.
You know, it's good to be there. Some you know, we won't get into the politics of it, but just because you may not have done well in a certain area, or, you know, I think once elected, you're not elected as a Republican or Democrat. You're not a Occupy or a Tea Party. You're a public servant, and you need to take care of everybody.
That's exactly right. Well, you had the Veterans Hall of Fame. Now you're coming right back with Women of Distinction.
Yep.
And tell us about what's going on. I know over in Carmel.
We have an event that's coming up March 29th.
Right.
And there's a statewide honor to have
It's March
Hall
30th.
of Fame.
You're catching my
Okay,
memory's
March 30th.
catching you.
See, this is why I pay.
I'm 50 and it's catching on. You got to be careful.
Is it the 30th?
Yeah.
Okay, so
March
March
the 30th
30th
at the
the
Putnam-
Emergency Services Building
That's right.
on the Donald B. Smith campus,
That's right.
right?
Starts at 6 p.m.
6 p.m. But there's a statewide Hall of Fame for Women in Distinction that's been set up by the Senate,
Right.
and there have been a number of honorees that have come through our district,
Right.
and we're going to invite them to come to our event. But what I wanted to do is actually involve the towns in the process,
Right.
and not just pick somebody from on high, but involve the towns and the community organizations in the process, and because there are so many great folks in our district,
Right.
and certainly when you look at the number of women that are involved in small business and community organizations and education and everywhere, I wanted to make sure that we really had the widest representation. And then from that pool, we will pick one for the statewide honor. I know there was a photo of Donna DiMaggio,
Right here.
Right.
Over
Is
in
it-
Carmel.
and those are her parents. And we have Councilman Lombardi and Councilwoman McDonough. Supervisor Kenny Schmidt, great man.
Oh, he's a
And that-
wonderful star over
That was a
there.
beautiful, beautiful day. In fact, I believe that Donna was the gym teacher for Joe Bachmeyer.
Little Joe.
She could have done a little better job with him. He's,
Yeah.
his hand-eye coordination isn't exactly could be worked on.
Fortunately, we've got him. We can help him.
We're working.
The good news, too, is that you've empowered Krista Gobins, your legislative director,
right.
and Susan McDonough.
They'll be
They're
emceeing
going
the
to
event.
be the MCs for the event.
That's right.
That's March the 30th over at the Putnam County Emergency Services Center.
So please come out, support Donna and everybody else.
It's going to be a big day.
It is.
Then on top of that, we went over to Cortland. You were busy like crazy for Eagle Fest,
Croton, yeah.
Croton.
Yep.
And that's why we're a tag team.
Within the town of Cortland.
Right.
And it's on the river, so we're both right.
Right.
And this is a bald eagle behind us. He had a golden eagle there that was absolutely beautiful. We presented them a $20,000 memorandum grant because that's actually Jim Coleman. That's you right there.
My sister Retta's going to really laugh at that one.
From a dog costume to an eagle costume.
He'll be coming out pretty soon. You never know. He might come out soon. But we had a lot of fun over there at Eagle Fest.
We certainly did.
love
It's
animals,
an
I can tell you
It's an
that.
amazing organization, and they do so much for the community. And without the funding, they wouldn't be able to hold that event. And tens of thousands of families take advantage of it every single year. And you know, the bald eagle is an amazing environmental success story. I remember when I was growing up, and I'm much, much younger and more handsome than you, but I remember when I was growing up, and that the bald eagle, it wasn't exactly known that it could possibly go extinct.
Right.
They had huge issues with DDT where the eggs were so soft that they couldn't even hatch because of the contamination. And the fact that we've been able to get to the point now where we have, I think, thousands of breeding populations, even in
Thank
places
goodness.
like our backyard. So
Yeah.
impressive
Represents our
stuff.
strength.
Yep.
Well, since we're talking about animals, we got to go back to your farm. A lot
Not
of
my
folks
farm.
out there.
Don't get me in trouble. I'm poor.
I know. Well, you're a sharecropper.
I'm an indentured servant.
And
My family's used to that. So
that's why you work so hard for working people, because
Exactly.
you know what it's like about working hard.
Exactly.
And, well, we're going to go back to the farm and take a look at the bull, and tell us about what's going on with the bull here. Look at that. That's when he was young.
that's when he was young. You know, local farmer brought him to my attention, and he was in bad shape, malnourished, wasn't feeding off the mother, and was entirely dehydrated. I got him hydrated, got him drinking formulated milk, and he immediately got scours, of course, which is typical, but it's very deadly, especially for calves.
Yeah.
And that's him several months back. He's actually over 500 pounds now, and he
amazing.
stands up to my chest. He's huge, and he's a bull.
What's his name right now?
Well, there's a contest going on, and everybody can go to the Senate website. We've involved classes all throughout the 40 Senate districts get involved in naming him. It ranges from vegan to bologna. So please, help me make sure it's not vegan or bologna. Okay, get on the website.
Help Senator Ball to name his bull.
Yeah,
Now that pretty dog out there that was
that's
on
Hannah.
there.
It's the love of my life.
That's right.
She's the best.
She goes way back.
You know, a lot of people ask if I actually pay her to be in, you know, all the mail and whatnot. But no, that is my dog.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Journal News will say they'll tack that next.
I know that. you can't control that. All we can do is just control what we can control.
And help people.
That's right. Well, on top of that, Senator Ball, you're doing a lot of work out there helping a wonderful officer down in Yonkers.
Yep.
And that's Sergeant DiCaprio, 24-year veteran
Yep.
on the force down there. And he's having tough times right now, suffering from pancreatic cancer.
He is, and you know, it was beautiful. There was an honor down in Yonkers, and the mayor, you'll see Mayor Mike Spano was there, and the new chief of police was there, and there was a promotion to detective, which is, you know, really, really cool. And the entire law enforcement community came out for Eddie and his family. And, you know, I got to tell you, we're going to be doing an event, I think it's July 7th.
July 7th.
It's going to be at Camp Kiwi. We want to thank Carla and Ivan Blada for helping us out at Camp Kiwi. Just an amazing organization and local business. And they're going to open up their facility. It's going to be free for all firemen and police officers, EMTs, veterans. But we are going to, you know, hopefully ask folks to help out where they can for Eddie and his family.
Well, that's fantastic work. That's good work.
July 7th,
You're
Camp Kiwi.
Being the chair of Homeland Security, I know you're always on the forefront of helping our first responders.
Absolutely. They need it and they deserve it.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'll tell you, we have covered just about all the major topics that we wanted to cover today. And you're up here in Albany. Anything else you want to share with us? Any other hot topics that you want to share? I know that you're getting out and I'm getting out. We're getting out together and tag teaming, going out and continuing our visits to our towns and letting them know about what's going on.
Sure. People need to know that if you compare what has happened over the previous, I guess, year and a half in Albany, it's really remarkable in comparison to what's happened in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And like I said, once you get elected, you know, maybe you run with a certain jersey on your back, but once you're elected, you owe it to the people to do the best work you possibly can for the entire district. You remain true to your ideals, but you don't allow the politics of polarization to make it impossible to have effective bipartisan leadership. And in Albany, balanced budget, did so without any backdoor borrowing, no new tax increases. We lowered the tax rate, all the tax rates, but the middle class tax rates to the lowest point in 3 generations.
Right.
Property tax cap, you know, a lot of the local folks, the schools and local governments are upset, saying, look, you know, this is forcing us to make tough decisions. Families and business owners have been making tough decisions for a long time, and it's time that everybody in the government sector do the same. So that property tax cap is going to do more for our district over the long run to get taxes in line than any other thing that we have done. It's also forcing the issue of unfunded mandate relief. I believe that we're going to see comprehensive mandate relief this year and moving forward. The governor has a real push on Tier 6 pension reform, and then the other push is a cap and a takeover, state takeover, on some of the Medicaid costs that are killing the counties. We have an advisory council that you know of, my Unfunded Mandate Relief Advisory Council is extremely active. There are over 151 proposals that we have forwarded to the statewide council through that initiative, and hopefully we're going to have an up or down vote on some very serious reforms that, instead of just doing the drop in the bucket like the previous budget, that will be able to give the school districts and the municipalities real unfunded mandate relief. And then we have to make sure that those savings end up in the pockets of taxpayers where they belong, because this country is not great because of our government. This country is great because of our people, and our people need more damn money in their pockets where it belongs, not in the government coffers.
Senator Ball, all I can say is I can barely keep up with you. You rock and roll.
You're doing
it's
a pretty
a pleasure
good job,
being your
Jim.
chief of staff, and
God bless you.
We're going to end our show today, and we'll be back next week.
Thanks, man.
That's it for tonight. Thanks a lot.
Got it.
Okay.